let's also talk about what is exactly happening in the power sector, because we all know the power sector has been having a great run for almost 3 weeks now that we've seen a sharp up move coming in the power sector. But yesterday also you had Power Ministry actually talk about the surge in the power demand. But how will the surge in power demand play for the or impact the power companies? Let's hear out the editor's take.
So let's simplify it for our viewers. One is the impact, and second is individual stocks. What has happened is, because August was a very dry month this time because of delayed monsoon, and the air conditioning penetration, our comfort which we require in terms of electricity demand, all that is increasing. As a result, in the month of August, the electricity demand has shot up, and there seems to be mismatch in what the total installed capacity is versus what the sudden demand is. Now the sudden demand could be erratic, and that may not sustain. And now that things are normalizing on the weather front, the demand will come down. But meanwhile, when you see such a large uptick in demand, what happens? Indian power sector, Avan and Aisha, I'm going to try and simplify it for our viewers. Hope I'm able to do that. You have utilities, NTPC, Tata Power, Adani. They generate power. They're power utilities. They sell by two routes. One is PPP, which is that you've entered into long-term agreement with the buyer, and that is a fixed contract for many years. And 75 to 80% of the broad capacity in India is locked in that. Remaining is what is called as you can sell in the open market. That is what you use. That is called as merchant power. Now the demand has gone higher. You cannot change the price at which long-term contracts have done, but you will definitely get an advantage in terms of merchant power pricing. So companies which have a high exposure to merchant power pricing are the ones they will hit a jackpot. Why will they hit a jackpot? Because your realizations will just go multifold. Your cost of production is same, your realizations they go higher. What happens? You make more money. So the theme to buy, I think for next couple of days, would be companies which have a high exposure to merchant power. And I think that is a theme which I think could be a warm theme, could be a charged up theme. Some stocks have run up, but looking at the way our trend is moving, I think we are in for a bumper quarter for companies which have a high exposure to merchant power.
Okay, so that's the editor's take on the power stocks, and recently we have seen all these power stocks skyrocketing in terms of the move that we have seen in the past 1 month. So let's get the expert take and the stocks that you need to be keeping on radar from our technical expert Kunal Bothra, as well as Sneha Poddar is on the fundamental side, is also joining us on the show. Very good morning and welcome both of you. And Kunal, let me come to you first on the technical charts. Any power stock that is looking interesting to you, because there has been a surge, there has been supply constraints, and we have seen good moves in both of these counters. But for today, majority of the stocks though are trading flat, but in the short to medium term, do you believe that there's more upside in any stock that you want to pick up?
Well, yeah, I would believe that most of the power stocks are still looking very attractive on the charts. Whether it's the traditional names like NTPC, etc., Coal India, which is I think given a breakout about the 255 mark, which was the major hurdle for the stock. Even the power finance names which you've been highlighting, those have been looking very attractive from long-term play. Power finance, REC, etc., have been looking quite strong. The traditional power stocks like Torrent Power, even those stocks have started to pick up pace. Tata Power has also come back about the 250 marks. So it's when a sector gets into a very strong uptrend, there are many candidates which emerge as a potential breakout. Now there are some which could lead, some which could lag. That's how trends generally shape up. In terms of an current perspective, I would probably believe that Tata Power is something which at 250 plus levels looks attractive from a short-term trade. Would look out for target range closer to 275 for the stock over the very near term.
All right, so that's the take coming in from Kunal on the power sector. But Sneha, coming to you, power sector has actually been powering ahead for almost 3 to 4 weeks, at least for the last 1 month or so. At least power sector has been in favor, but now we are seeing that the power demand has also peaked. How do you think that this actually bodes for the power companies, and do you think you can still look at these companies as an investment, or do you think the cycle has now actually reached its peak?
Okay. See, what I believe is that the power demand is likely to stay high because so far, I mean, like, the outlook on the monsoon is still like, it's supposed to be a little subtle only going ahead. So the demand obviously for the power would remain high for next at least 1 to 2 months. And in fact, like, with the kind of government commitment which is there with regards to the 24 by 7 power supply to all homes, so that clearly it augurs well for the overall power sector. So we believe that while there was a belief that probably the renewable energy would take over the the fossil fuel power plants, probably this thing would be put to rest, because with the poor erratic monsoon and all, the renewable energy side is seeing a certain kind of slowdown. It has not been able to pick up as it was anticipated. So the demand for thermal power plants would definitely stay for at least next couple of years. In fact, if you look at worldwide, China has increased its dependence on the power plants. It has recently commissioned 2 thermal power plants, uh, and it plans to add furthermore. In fact, of late, around 14 countries have added power plants in last 1 year, while 8 more countries have announced their projects and plans to add more thermal power plants. So clearly the focus is there on increasing thermal power capacity, and thus keeping this in mind, we believe that Coal India is one stock which investors should really keep an eye from a 1 year perspective, because the demand for coal will definitely stay there. In fact, if you look at the coal inventory, that has dipped recently given the peak power demands, and even going ahead, we believe the trend would stay for the the coal requirement. So Coal India definitely is our one of the topic in the this space, and given its valuations, we believe it's pretty attractive even at this level, and we have a target price of 300, which one can actually look at from 1 year perspective.